Welcome, everybody, to the Tea with Ms McGill Show, presented by Fortune Bay Resort and Casino. Make plans today to visit Fortune Bay Resort and Casino on beautiful Lake Vermilion. Fortune Bay has 172 rooms in a smoke-free environment, indoor pool, full-service marina, RV park, world-class golf, several dining options, bar, and, of course, 24/7 gaming. Visit fortunebay.com for details on planning your next trip. And if you got the kids around there, a week from today, we're recording on Wednesday, December 20th. Santa and Mrs. Claus are going to make a little visit, hot chocolate, cookies, all that good stuff. So from 3 to 8, Fortune Bay, go see Santa, check if Reed's still on the nice list, check if I'm still on the naughty list, and throw a comment. We'd appreciate
If
that.
Santa can't make it, I could actually maybe fill it.
You kid, yeah, you're looking good.
Yeah, I could fill
You're
it.
very festive.
Yeah.
So it is Buka speaking. Is the star of the show, Coach Reed Larson, a little under the weather.
A little bit, but we're gonna power through for all the hockey enthusiasts here in northern Minnesota and beyond.
And beyond.
We're gonna power through. Even though I'm under the weather, we're still gonna give it to you.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. All right. Just a couple of quick things here. Shirts and hoodies. We're gonna go till tomorrow. So if you we showed that logo on last week's show, so check that out. The newer logo we have. So if you want something, special, like I said, we'll probably have larges, extra larges, the normal stuff, but your double X or want a medium or a small or something like that. We don't typically order a lot of those. So Goatsportsmediallc at gmail.com. Yep, there's the logo right there. So Goatsportsmediallc at gmail.com. Reach out to Reed, reach out to me, slide up in the DMs, all that good stuff. So we can get you handled there. And of course, some new subs and followers this week: G.O.A.T 101, Tim Johnson, David Nielsen, and David Marachek. So be just like them, join the fastest growing hockey podcast in the US of A, and subscribe and follow today. All right, episode 71.
Yeah.
4 weeks in.
Yeah, we're deep into it right now. We're into the holiday season here right now, but inching our way to the new year already. We're deep into the season. Just like we talked about, I'm a little bit under the weather. So a lot of teams are kind of starting to hit the possibility of some of the dog days starting a little bit early with the sickness and the injuries. But there's some teams that are still sitting at some undefeated records in AA as well as single A.
Yeah, impressive. All right, so we're going to get into our game of the week, brought to you by our friends over at the Reek Sports Bar and Grill over in Eveleth. And of course, as always, every year, got the gift card special going on. Now, this will run through Christmas Eve. So buy a $50 gift card, receive a $10 card for free. Purchase a $100 card, receive a $25 card for free. And buy a $200 card and receive $50 for free. So $250 for $200. Pretty fun night over at the Ring Sports Bar.
Yeah, and again, like we've said before, that's a no-brainer. That's free money.
That's totally free money. Yeah. So in this time of inflation, the gift that Reed and I can give you during the holidays is a gift card over at the Ring Sports Bar and Grill. So do yourself a favor, shoot over there today. And while you're at it, folks, here, drill the like button. We'd appreciate that. All right, so the game of the week: Rock Ridge, Denfeld, my 9. Reed's on the call last night. I see a Rock Ridge win. That's all I really want to know about it. All I know about it so far. So I'm excited to hear kind of how things went over there.
Yeah, it was an entertaining hockey game. It was definitely a northern style hockey game, but I kind of spotlighted it on my social media yesterday, saying that these are the 2 newest additions to Section 7 AA. Here we go, spotlighted for the Northland, and everybody can see what they're dealing with. And actually, both teams not looking half bad. Actually, Rock Ridge looked pretty good. Goaltender Ryan Rothfork is the real deal between the pipes for those guys. There's going to be a lot of good things that are going to happen because they've got a good goaltender. But their first line is no slouch. They've got Carlson, Lampa, and DeBerio, and those 3 are actually very, very talented. Casey Lampa has 13 goals in a matter of, I think it's 5 games.
Yeah, I think they're 5. Yeah,
5 games in. That's pretty good. But it was fun to watch the patience of that line. And you know what? You start thinking about, geez, that line is fantastic. Do they have anything else? Yeah, they got a lot of depth. Actually, they got scoring from guys from their second and third line or second line as well, too. Got a goal. Lampa had 2 last night. The Rock Ridge went up 1-0, and it stayed that way for a little while. And then in the second period, Denfeld tied it up. So it was 1-1. And then it was kind of a battle, and it got to be a little bit of a power play penalty kill battle back and forth. No one could get anything to go by. It was actually a well goaltended game on both ends. Connor Doyle for Denfeld looked really good between the pipes. And I feel like I've been hearing that name for a long time. So I think he's a veteran player for those guys. But guys like John Scott, Noah Harju, and they actually have a guy from Finland, a foreign exchange student. This Lutalampi is his name, but Valerie Lutalampi, I think his first name is. Actually really skilled player. He's leading their team right now in either points or goals. I can't remember what statistic, but he's at the top of their scoring list, and a big part of their power play. So it was a lot of back and forth power play, penalty kill, but both goaltenders doing a fantastic job stifling opportunities on the power play. There was some emotion last night. There was some fisticuffs. There was some shots and some in-your-face kind of hockey, and expect that from teams that are coached by Coach Dale Jago. That's the way he plays. That's the way he coaches. He wants and expects that out of his players. He wants there to be a presence there that is intimidating, and it is. But on the other side of things, in the home barn at the Iron Trail Motors and Event Center there for Rock Ridge, it's their home ice. It's kind of interesting. I mentioned it on the air last night that Denfeld comes into the second period on the power play, and you could see the home ice advantage settle in. I said to Bob as the period started, Denfeld is coming in on the power play right now, but I think somebody told the Zamboni driver to lay down as much water as he possibly could. That's what you call iron rage. Home ice advantage.
Totally.
They couldn't get anything going on it, and by the time the ice froze, it was over. So they didn't get that chance. But it came down to the wire at the end of the game with just a few minutes left of the game. Then Rock Ridge goes up 2-1, and then they get the insurance marker, and Casey Lampa finishes it up. Or I should say the go ahead with a few minutes left, and then the insurance marker to make it 3-1 by Casey Lampa. He scores his 13th. Those two teams are going to be okay at the end of the year. I really think that they are. I see it in my head with the teams that I've watched in Section 7 AA, and haven't seen Andover play yet, but I've seen Duluth East. I've obviously seen Grand Rapids. I've seen Forest Lake. I've seen Marshall. Rock Ridge is right in the mix with those teams, to be honest with you. Denfeld is close.
Okay.
They're not far away.
Jeez, it could be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. All right. Awesome. If there was a player, we're sitting here talking, that stood out to you. I mean, either team, if you can name one, you think you said his name a lot, who would it be?
Well, I guess I would name two. I would think Casey Lampa was probably the player in the game last night, but if I had to name another one, it would have been Ryan Rothfork.
Okay.
Between the pipes for Rock Ridge. Both were outstanding. But I know there's been a lot of talk from Coach Johnson as well as assistant coach Ryan Colby about Casey Lampa. And it's kind of interesting because I used to be the coach over in Virginia many years ago, and I remember this group coming through. They were mini mites during my tenure there. So I remember these names like Casey Lampa. He was a little shaver one. And
that's
out there with
boy?
little guys.
Derek's
boy.
Yeah.
Yep. Derek's youngest. Guys like Aiden Rabideau and Rory Cope Robinson and Brad Tiedemann. These are all names that I remember from way back when they were, this big.
Sure, yeah.
So excuse me, kind of fun to watch these guys grow up and be there their senior year or junior year, wherever they're at in that part, and see the contribution. And now that program is at another level, it's pretty cool.
Awesome. All right. Well, I was fortunate enough to head over to the Snake Pit, with a decent crowd. They don't have the same crowds they had back in 2019, but a pretty decent crowd. Pretty Chisholm Hibbing Greenway, excuse me, and pretty evenly played first period. But boy, they got into the second period, and Hibbing really started moving the puck. Just started moving. Period. I don't know what kind of adjustments they made in between periods, but Hibbing just all of a sudden got comfortable. They ended up pumping 52 shots on Jabot, so he had 47 saves, and it being a 5-0 Hibbing win. But pretty entertaining game. Few penalties a little bit at the end there, but not too bad. But good matchup. Looks like good to be back at the Snake Pit. Trying to make my annual appearance there. Got to run into Pat Geyer really quick. Kenny Janander. So
you can't go to the Snake Pit without bumping into Pat Geyer.
Yeah, he was running around.
You can't.
So it was good to see. And then I did want to say, I know Jackson Strukel scored, but I don't know for sure if it was his first high school career goal.
It definitely was not.
Was it?
He scored down. I don't know if it was in down in the city,
And then
Red
one of
Wing
the-
or whatever
one
it
of the
was. I
swings,
did
okay.
see him score on the power play on the social medias. Somewhere on Instagram, I saw him score. So it wasn't his first high school goal, but shout out anyways for a ninth grader being a real big part of that team and the nephew of a really good buddy of mine.
Yeah, and he heads up.
Jason Struckel's
Jason.
nephew. I played with Dad Brian for 1 year at University of Wisconsin Superior, and also a fantastic guy.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally, both of them. And then, like I said, Strook's on the power play, looking good. Got the eye tech. Not too many players wear the eye techs anymore.
The bubble.
Looking good in the eye
The
tech.
fishbowl.
Yeah. And then Joey Gabardi, he's another ninth grader. He did get his first. I know that's confirmed. I was standing next to his dad. He pounded one in kind of late in the game. And so I don't know if you remember last year we did the Tea with Ms McGill Award.
Bruh.
So if kids want to be reminded what the Bruh Award is if you know one of your teammates scores his first goal of his career, you stop the ref, you get the puck, or you jump in the net yourself and you get the puck. And Isaiah Hildenbrand, congratulations. One of the guys we spoke with this summer from that Hibbing Bantam team, but Isaiah Hildenbrand with the Bruh Award as he ran right to the net and got that puck, puck for Gabardi. So if you want a Bruh Award, I've only known of a few teams in my life that consistently did that, including Garv's team.
Oh, sure. Sure.
And it seemed like all the teams that I know that did it, they're successful. They're tight. They're thinking of others.
It's selfless, right? It's what you can do for your buddy.
Right. So I noticed it right away. He ran and
those are things you remember, right? I mean, these are mementos that come out at your graduation party that mom and dad want to have in the garage. Grad party. They want that first varsity gold puck sitting in there. You get a little colored marker to write on there, like a gray marker to write on it, the game, whatever. And sometimes there's other memorabilia that goes, but you never forget that first gold puck. I still have my first gold puck. I don't remember who I scored it against, but I have it. My parents gave it to me.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to move on here. We'll go back to you and the Thunderhawks, just kind of a wrap up like we featured last week. You guys made the trek up north.
Yeah,
and you got more than you bargained for.
Yeah, I did get more than
other than getting sick. Not only did you catch a flu bug, but you got something else.
Yeah, well, it was a tough weekend for the boys to come out with 2 L's up there. Grand Rapids comes swept on the way home, but with a lot of lessons learned. Like we said last week before when we kind of did the feature on, hey, these are the games coming up. We said that we're going to learn a lot about our team when we go up there. Well, win, lose, or draw, we're going to learn. And we learned, that's for sure. We took 2 lumps back to back both nights. Basically lost to Roseau with less than 2 minutes left in the game. We're winning.
Oh, really?
2-1. And we get a penalty at the end of the game with a minute 50 or a minute 40 left in the game, something like that. And they score on the power play. And there's under a minute left and they score again. They scored a tie on the power play and then they score again to win it with whatever it was, 20 some seconds or 30 some seconds left in the game. And just some mental errors at the end of the game, we need to learn how to win. We need to learn to protect the puck. We need to learn to be careful. And those are lessons that were well learned. And going into the next night over in Warroad, it was a loss 5-3. Warroad scored 4 of their 5 goals on us on the power play. So what's that tell you?
Yeah. And a major too, right?
Stay out of. We didn't have a major, no, but what's at the end of the day, what's the problem? Stay out of the penalty box, right? And sharpen up the penalty kill, and that's something that's been detailed all week long. That our special teams have to be better, and if we're going to play top tier teams like that, then we better be better on those special teams. And of course, when you go up there, I don't care if you're in Roseau or if you're in Warroad. You better expect a battle. You better expect bumps and bruises. In fact, the coach on the JV bench also took a battle mark. A player of ours got hit in front of the away bench and a stick comes yard sailing into the box. And I'm talking and the stick finds its way right at my tooth. So cracked the cap that I had on my tooth. And the hope is I'm really kind of hoping that I'll give a shout out to Miskovich Dental here in Grand Rapids and hope that this is some free advertising for you, that I get a good deal on fixing the tooth there.
Holy man.
All right, Peter, that's for you.
That's right. So the stick comes flying. Well, as a matter of fact, flying sticks, one flew into, I believe it was Tate Swanson's stick in the snake pit last night in Greenway. I got, kind of gives it the chop, and that be right into the stands to the fans, but they were right by the Hibbing bench where they were able to just put it back over. But so he jumped off the ice, but pretty rare seeing that too, where a
absolutely.
player's stick actually ends up in the crowd.
Well, as difficult as it is, like you said, like I was saying, going up to play up in Warren and Roseville, Friday night, actually, Rock Ridge was in Warren while we were in Roseville, and Rock Ridge was tallied up with those guys at the end of the third period. I think it was tied 2-2 with 8 minutes left. And of course, 5-minute major happens. Rock Ridge is in the penalty box for 5 minutes, and they pump in 3 power play goals.
Oh, jeez.
So there you have it. And actually the final in that game was 6-3.
Okay.
Staying out of the penalty box,
but a shot to win.
But again, the special teams was the difference there between Warren and Rock Ridge. So
okay. Oh, interesting. So like you said, took your lumps, but some lessons learned up north. Like I said, obviously tough places to play. I don't recall winning a youth. Well, I didn't play there in youth, but in high school, playing at the Garden. I did not tally a win up there.
The JV did go 2-0 up there.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's something to lean on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Hit the like button. We'd appreciate that. Time to get into our previews of the week, presented by Iron Range Apparel over at the Thunderbird Mall in Virginia. Exclusive ODR line is if you want an ODR apparel, that's the place you have to go, is Iron Range Apparel. I called it the gift buyer's paradise for the longest time. The Richters have it going on over there. So, kind of anything you're looking for, you'll find over there, all kinds of Minnesota themed items, of course, hockey stuff, jerseys, hoodies, caps, baseball caps, everything. And I did see today on their Facebook, they featured the Minnesota Woods and Water hoodies. So go over to their Facebook page, check those out. They look pretty cool. And then while you're there, might as well give them a follow over at Iron Range Apparel, Thunderbird Mall. Like I said, it is the holidays. 'Tis the season. Looking for that perfect gift. Go pay them a visit. All right. We touched on this a little bit last week as far as previews, but Edina Classic for the boys starting tomorrow. Like I said, we're recording on Wednesday.
Yeah, big weekend of fantastic hockey, and I guess the spotlight. I don't want to pick any games in specific for the Thunderhawks. They're all 3 big games, and I know Coach Clafton is extremely excited about going down to play these games. We learned a lot about our team this last weekend. We got better this week as a team. And the challenge of going down and playing Edina, Eden Prairie, and Elk River back to back in 3 nights is again going to tell us more about where this team is and the direction that we're going to go. It's really exciting. I think it's like correct me if I'm wrong, maybe somebody that's Walleye Scott can help us with this. It's the 42nd or 43rd annual Edina Classic, I think, something like that. And it's been many years that Grand Rapids has been involved in this. I don't know the number. Someone again could comment on that. I'm not sure how many years Grand Rapids has been involved in it. I remember playing in it when I was in high school.
Okay.
But again, it's a big weekend. It starts off tomorrow night. It starts off with the late game, 8:30, Grand Rapids versus Edina. Then Friday is going to be Grand Rapids versus Eden Prairie, and then Grand Rapids versus Elk River. Of course, then you've got those teams playing each other too on alternating nights, and the JV will be on the other rink playing as well.
Right.
So big weekend to showcase. And if you're interested in watching any of those games and you have a subscription or want to buy a subscription, Minnesota Hockey TV, that they'll be streaming those games if you're interested.
That's where I'm going to have to catch them. No more Let's Play Hockey. I remember Let's Play Hockey did them.
They used to do those back in the day, and there's very few traveling TV stations that can actually take games and stream them back to the station. And one of those that can do that is My 9.
Okay. Yeah, right.
So, but it's difficult. It's expensive for Bally Sports. They were going to cover a game last year. Bally Sports was going to cover the Edina Grand Rapids game last year, and they had to cancel it because of the weather.
Right. Yeah.
So we didn't get to play that game.
So if all of you remember last year, this is when we got the foot of snow. I can't remember what day we recorded, but anyway, we got a foot of snow, whatever, say Tuesday last year on this week, and then we got a foot of snow on Wednesday, and then the bus company called AD and said, we are not driving.
Talk about polar opposites when it comes to weather.
Oh gosh, you can't believe it.
2 feet of snow in 2 days just before the Edina Classic last year. And this year, Thursday, Friday, it's going to be 44 degrees.
Yeah, 44 degrees tomorrow. Yeah, unbelievable. So there's your flashback to what you were up to a year ago was shoveling a lot of snow. You had a sore back. So, all right. Anything else to add there?
Nope. Just going to be a great weekend.
Yep. Good luck to the Thunderhawks. Have fun. And like I said, catch it on the stream. And then I did notice, I was just kind of going through, I see Rock Ridge goes down, has a couple of games, Little Falls and St. Cloud Cathedral down in St. Cloud, so making the trip down to that area. So I was going to kind of ask you, would you rather, St. Cloud Cathedral being, a ranked team this year, would you rather Rock Ridge or Cathedral?
Well, I'll tell you what, I would rather see a northern team kind of put their stamp on not only a private school, but a mid-Minnesota team that's actually at the top of single A right now. And to be honest with you, Rock Ridge took the step this year. They took the step to go double A, and there's obviously some growing pains. So there are a lot of people that question, well, are they ready to do that yet or not? They felt that they are, and you got to give them credit for thinking that that they're ready to go. But if they did stay in single A, I believe Rock Ridge should be rated in the top 10 somewhere.
Oh, sure.
So going down there right now, if they were a single A team, they would be matched up against number 2 rated St. Cloud Cathedral. And the last week or so, it's been Hermantown 1, Cathedral 2, and then at one point Cathedral was 1 and Hermantown was 2. They were kind of bopping back and forth a little bit. Those are the top 2 teams in single A, and Rock Ridge has a good challenge to go down there and play that. That team is pumping right now.
Yeah.
That Cathedral team is good.
All right. Good luck to the Wolverines also. All right. Time to move on to our scores and more. Presented by Aspire Heating and Control. They are your local Bryant dealer, and Bryant, remember, is the official heating and cooling company of your Minnesota Wild. Aspire specializes in gas, electric, and hydronic heating and cooling systems for existing and new construction. Residential and commercial installations available. Services include forced air systems, boilers, heat pumps, mini splits. They are, of course, licensed and bonded. So on these chilly nights, if you think you're having problems with the furnace, give Justin a call, 218-999-5957, 218-999-5957. And of course, Justin is a good hockey guy. All right, some scores and more. Ren Morquay.
Shout out, Ren.
Shout out.
Ren makes his commitment here last week. It came out over the social medias world. Saw it on Instagram and got an opportunity to shoot him a personal text message, and really proud of you, Ren. Ren committed to Air Force Academy. It's been a long time coming for him. He is now from that 2022 team a couple of years back. There's now 4 or 5 guys that are committed from that team.
Well, you got Drotz, you got
Del Greco, Easton, and Red.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's more coming. I'm not going to mention any names, but there will be a couple of more that are going to commit very soon from that team.
All right. Awesome. Congratulations. And where's Ren this year?
Ren is at the Wilderness right
Okay.
now.
So there you go. You want to catch a game, just go run down to Cloquet. You can watch Ren any night. All right. Many of you have probably already seen the Ben Steves goal, the UMD player. The one-handed goal on the shootout. I've never seen anything like it, but left-handed shot kind of comes across, puts her upper shelf, probably already the candidate for goal. Wow. I guess we're only a couple of weeks left of 2023, but almost better than the leg goal, in Michigan, but not necessarily better, but as big of a surprise.
I've
never seen anything like this.
You never expect someone to be able to get a puck up that quick. If you think about it, he's left-handed. So his top hand is on the stick. He's got it out like this. The side that the puck is on this side, and he roofs it from his backhand with one hand.
It's just incredible.
It's unbelievable.
And a big tender, like all the tenders on these days, right? I mean, the pads were huge. I mean, he was a big guy, and he just kind of sat there.
But it's like he had a one-handed spade shovel in his hand, right? It's the number 2 shovel right up under the bar.
Yeah. So congratulations. I mean, like I said, we'll have to follow this. And if anyone, if we're a couple of months down the road, maybe you think of it. If you do hear anything, if he ends up with the goal of the year, please let us know so we can give him a shout out again. All right, then our buddy Timmy Parkos on the range this week.
Timmy gets the W last night. Where was the W?
Over the weekend, over at the Memorial Building. Yeah, they came up and matched up against the Chisholm Blue Jacks, and Timmy walks out with the
Tino Grace.
Yep, 7-3.
Give them a shout out.
Yeah.
Hope anew, and he's obviously he's got supporting us as a advertisement here and sponsor. He's got Team Minnesota.
Yep.
So
congratulations, Tim. All right, some scores and more from the week that was. Bemidji beats Brainerd 3-1. Ely beats International Falls.
I was watching that score last night on the hockey hub as I'm calling the game, looking down the hockey hub going, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Ely's up 2-1 on the Falls.
And there was a group, and they must be juniors or seniors, that a few years ago they made it, their B team in Pee-wees, but they made it to state, it was a pretty big thing up there. So I'm assuming some of those kids are there. So congratulations.
Ely, the Wolves.
The Wolves, yep. Roseau bested by Elk River 2-1. Cloquet last night survives Proctor 4-3. I'm sure you were watching.
I did take that. It was a 4-3 survival.
Yeah.
They were actually up, I think, 3-1. Cloquet was, and Proctor came back, battled back, and tied it. And then I think Cloquet won it later on at the end. So,
assuming that's got to be a rivalry game.
Oh yeah, I think so. I mean, now that it's single A, it's going to become more of a rivalry. Like now that Cloquet has went down to single A, Section 7 single A, and Proctor's no slouch. Like they've got a couple of players on that team.
Yeah, that's what you were saying last week. All right, North Shore dropped by Superior 5-1. Duluth East stopped by Eden Prairie 4-2. And here's one I just want to throw out. It's really nothing to do with us, but it just sounds like it would be an exciting atmosphere. Lakeview North versus Lakeview South. South prevails 4-1, maybe with an empty netter, but doesn't that sound like,
that's a
Mankato East, Mankato West kind of thing?
I actually like hearing about that game because I know Josh Storm. He's the head coach at Lakeville South, took over here 2 years ago, I think, after Yanni Kilvahami, or however you mention his name. I always struggle with that how to pronounce his name, but Yanni was the head coach before. He ended up stepping down and going into the college ranks as an assistant, and Josh Storm took over that program, and it kept going in the direction that it was going, and he does a fantastic job. That Lakeville North team has struggled, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how bad or good either of these teams are. That's a rivalry game. That's an area. This is the Battle of Lakeville, right? So, but I don't think Lakeville has really, ruffled any feathers any time since 2015 when they went undefeated and won the state tournament.
Yeah. Well, I heard there's a lot of movement there too.
Yeah. Unfortunately, and it's so easy to do that down in the cities.
Exactly. All right, and then Walleye Scott CFP Edina update. They didn't play, as we mentioned last week. Their next game will be tomorrow night versus the Thunderhawks, but we do have a little bit of an update from Walleye Scott because his birthday was on Monday. So on the 11th, so Walleye Scott is 1 year older, but we just don't know what that age is, and it doesn't matter to us. But the Walleye Scott CFP update this week is that Walleye Scott is 1 year older and 1 year wiser.
There you go.
All right. Anything to add? Episode 71.
Episode 71. We're rolling in.
We're on the Melkin episode.
What's that?
We're on the Vinji Melkin episode.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, we're winding it down here to the new year. We'll have another couple before the new year, and we'll have some more games to talk about here next week before the Christmas break. So,
all right, awesome. Like I said, please comment, correct anything, any corrections, anything, or anything you've heard, seen. We'd like to hear from you. If you're on Spotify, we'd appreciate a review. Take a couple minutes. We'd appreciate that. Give us a 5-star. Like I said, Goat Sports Media LLC, merch in the back. So if you want to contact us about merch or anything else, goatsportsmediallc@gmail.com. Hit the follow button. Here's where you find us. It's Tea with Ms McGill on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Musi app. T McGill on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it these days. Elon said he's looking for a word. He doesn't like the word tweet. So if you got a word instead of tweet that you do on X, send it off to Elon. He said I saw an interview with him. He's looking.
How do you give advice to a ball type?
Oh yeah, the richest man in the world. All these, the Hyperloop company, SpaceX. He's got Tesla. He's got Tesla. He's got X. I'm sure he gets many hours of sleep every night.
Yeah, right.
And then on YouTube or Facebook, if you're searching for us, GOAT, as in greatest of all time, Goat Sports Media LLC, and you will catch us there. Like I said, Christmas ideas right behind us. All right. Thank you to the greatest partners on earth, the Ring Sports Bar and Grill, Iron Range Apparel, and ODR Apparel, Fortune Bay Resort and Casino, Aspire Heating and Control, Iron Range Goalie Academy, Team Minnesota Hockey. For Reed Larson, I am Puka. Get out there and be your dream. Happy holidays. You're now tuned to the Tea with Ms McGill Show.